All right, I don't know about you, but I am super excited about our food. It's starting to smell really good, and I'm super excited to see how well it turns out. In the meantime, while we're waiting on this to cook, I wanted to discuss some other meal options. Of course, you may be camping over the course of maybe it's an overnighter, maybe it's a couple of days. So I did want to kind of discuss some of those other really easy meal options or kind of tricks of the trade that you might keep in mind that'll make that camping experience both convenient and easy for you, but also enjoyable and tasty. Why not enjoy our food while we're at it? Camp food can be some of the best food. Some other suggestions from some of my times camping, things that I really like. Some great options for breakfast meals. Pick you up some pancake mixes, really simple. A lot of your pancake mixes maybe only need milk or water and possibly an egg added to it. So they're typically really, really easy to mix up if you've got a bowl and a spoon and you can just throw it on a cooking surface. Other breakfast items might include, eggs, sausage, bacon. While we're using a campfire, maybe say, okay, that's a little bit more rustic than I prefer. Some other things that you might consider is some electronic skillets. If you do have an electronic outlet that you can hook up to, a simple skillet, a long tabletop skillet does a really great job for cooking anything like breakfast things, pancakes. It really opens the variety. You could do some grilled cheeses on them, really easy. So those are some great solutions with just one tool that can do a lot. The best part about camping, or the things to keep in mind, is you don't want to bring the whole kitchen, right? You want to be considerate. You don't want to have a ton of things that you got to pack up, clean up, everything like that. So those items that are more useful and can be reused are great. So maybe some of those suggestions, pancakes is a great breakfast way. Even a trick of the trade is if you're cooking with eggs or you plan on scrambling those, scrambled eggs when camping is really great. And maybe you're concerned about breaking those eggs or keeping them cold, and you're concerned with that. If you are maybe a coffee fanatic, or some people who really like coffee creamer, I might suggest actually breaking your eggs in advance and placing the egg yolks and whites mixed up in that coffee creamer. It stores really well upright in a cooler. You don't have to worry about crushing eggs. So that's a really fun tip to help kind of make that camping experience a little bit easier. For lunches, consider lunch and dinner. Consider bringing a skewer. There's so many things, in our supplies. I mentioned a skewer because you can cook hot dogs on these really easily. You could do kebab. You could actually cook some kebab style things. You could actually throw your veggies straight on here, onto your skewers and actually cook it kebab style. Of course, everybody loves s'mores, so you need those skewers for s'mores. If you want to go the more rustic route, don't forget you can always just take a stick from your outdoor setting, sharpen it up with that pocket knife that you pack with you, that you've got a clean edge and you're not dealing with the bark on that, and that does an equally great job if you happen to forget the skewer. For dinner meals, of course, the tinfoil packets does a really nice job. Some other meals that you might consider or side items. Corn does a really great job. Corn on the cob that's still in the husk. You can either drench and soak that corn on the cob with the husk completely wet, and soak it for 20 minutes, and you can actually lay it with the husk straight into cool embers. Or if you don't want to deal with the husk, you can go ahead and pull the green husk off of the corn. Go ahead, wrap up that corn. In theory, maybe throw maybe some butter or something like that to kind of keep it from drying out. You can wrap that up, throw it in low embers, right? The more like cooler ashes that are still warm, but they're not as intense, because that fire will cook them up really fast. Some other things, I've seen a lot of people do some jambalaya style meals where they're also in a tinfoil packet. Throw some of your corn, throw your potatoes, throw your some onions, throw some shrimp, even some sausage into your tinfoil packet. Oh, it's so good. Of course, all these things do resemble around, all these meal items that I've suggested are things that are intended to be easy, not require, the kitchen sink and everything else in the kitchen. These are, these are food recipes that are intended to be simple, easy, and make your camping experience as enjoyable as possible. Alrighty guys, this is starting to smell really good. We're coming up on that 15-minute mark, so let's check out our meal and see how our tinfoil meal is turning out.